right, 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. Good morning. You're listening to AM Ocala Live, broadcasting live from the Paddock Mall just outside the WOCA Commissary, where you too can get a foot-long hot dog, Robin. They got foot-long hot dogs in there, you know.
Nice. I know. They're wonderful.
To get you into that Christmas spirit, you always want a foot-long hot dog.
Exactly.
58 degrees right now. Temperatures are expected to climb to 82. It's Florida today. Tomorrow it'll continue to be Florida, but then Thursday it looks like North Carolina. 60 degrees the expected high on Thursday with some rain moving in. Friday that rain is expected to continue, but that rain is also ushering in some cooler temperatures. Look for temperatures to drop Friday night to 40 degrees and then Saturday night to 36 degrees, just in time for the Christmas parade. Wow, we're looking forward to a chilly Christmas parade broadcast,
Yes,
right?
I like that.
All right, let me turn on the camera here. Right now you're looking at the logo of the station. Let me show you who's in the studio. Jonathan K. Miller is in the studio. This man is a very accomplished author. Robin, you and I talked to quite a few people with the Writers of the Future organization out in California. I don't know if Jonathan has ever participated with them, but he fits right in. He's a science fiction writer, and he lives right here in Ocala, and he writes about space travel, and he writes about the future. And how is it possible that we never met him before? Genesis Universe 2 is one of his books. Let me put that cover on here. And I just had to download it. I was having so many problems with this computer this morning. So there's the cover of this one. These are huge books, too. I saw them when he was sitting out there in the blue sky room, we call that, right?
Yeah, the cloud room.
The cloud room, thank you.
The cloud room.
The cloud room. So Jonathan K. Miller is our guest. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Nervous.
Don't be. You'll be. That'll be going away like in 30 seconds.
Okay.
So you'll be fine. So where do you live in Ocala?
I live on the southwest side of Ocala, by actually across from Top of the World.
Can you show me the book that we're talking about?
Sure.
One of them, anyway.
One of them?
You've got two, right?
I got two of them.
These are huge. Look at this, like dictionaries. They're so big. Wow. I can't wait to hear about them.
There's a lot in it, you know.
Yes.
Research.
Let me tell you what we're doing after Jonathan. Jonathan is going to do the show with us up until about 8 o'clock. But you're welcome to stay all morning. That's up to you. You can be part of the show if you want.
Okay.
At 8:05, Galen Unold will be on from Life South Community Blood Center. We're going to talk to him. There's another list out this year, Robin. The hottest Christmas toys of all time.
Nice.
The hottest Christmas toys of all time.
Nice.
I think Silly Putty should be on that list. It's not, but you would think that would have been a good stocking stuffer, right?
Yeah.
I remember as a kid getting little things like that. News Bites at 8:35. That's when we don't offer our opinion. We just read the news. In the Garden with Carol Ann. That's right. Today's Tuesday. Carol Ann will be here talking about your gardening. Matt Gibbs will be at 10:05 talking about your cars. And Nikki Nix, Zora Harrison, and the others from Ocala Eye will be here talking about your eye care. Not only do they take care of eyes, but they take care of hearing and skin. Also, they have this facial thing that they do over there. It's pretty impressive. Pamela Samuels Young is coming on 11:05. She is talking to us on child sex trafficking. How horrible is that?
Wow.
Abuse of discretion. Sometimes a crime isn't always criminal. Oh, my gosh. Okay, well, we'll find out what's going on there. David Hepworth is a music journalist. Thank you for ending the morning, Robin, with something fun. Oh, yes, his book is fun. It's called Uncommon People, The Rise and Fall of the Rock Stars.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, you're into that, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Fun with Joe today. Today's Fun with Joe. It's a trivia game, if you don't know.
Okay.
Swimming with the women, Robin. That's what I call it.
Nice.
Swimming with the women. It's all questions about women. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, love that.
yeah. So that'll be how we wrap up the morning. And let me say good morning again to Jonathan. Good morning again, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for doing the show with us this morning.
Oh, I'm excited. This is great.
A lot of times when we find out we have a good guest, but we're totally booked up, and if you're local, we always say, well, can you come in and do the show with us?
Right.
So thank you for agreeing to do that with us.
It's fun. I'm honored to be here, actually.
So how long have you been writing?
Actually, I have not been writing professionally very long. I started writing when I was 59, and I'm 61 now, almost 62.
Is that right?
Yes, but I had a lot in my head, and it's just been in there, and I decided, okay, since I retired, I will start writing the stuff that I've been thinking about, being on the
What was
ranch.
the catalyst? What got you from being a non-writer to a writer? Or I mean, obviously the ideas are in your head.
Right.
So what got you to that point where you sat down and type the first page or whatever.
The darkness of the ranch, because you can see all the stars at night, and
You live on a ranch?
yes, I have a small ranch here
Okay.
in Ocala, and there's no street lights or anything on our street, so you go out there and it's just pitch black, and you can see everything. Being a sci-fi fan, I started saying, what if, which is the biggest concept in the book, is what if something landed in my pasture?
Oh.
What would I do? Where would I run?
And is that which one of the two books is the first book?
The 12 Blocks is the first book.
12 blocks. Let me put that picture on here just so
Right.
people can see what it looks like.
Right.
So that and when did you? So you only been doing it for 2 years. So you put out a book a year. So,
Actually,
so far,
yes, it's a book a year, and there is a third in the way.
you're getting really good reviews on Amazon too.
Yes, yes, we are
fan-
very proud of that.
That's good to know.
Yes.
All right. So you're in here today to introduce us to your writing and to your work in general. What did you do? What did you retire from?
Law enforcement,
Police?
police, and other agencies.
Other agencies in Ocala, in Marion County?
No, actually, I started in California,
Oh,
where I was
wow.
born and raised.
Oh, wow.
And traveled around up and down the coast. I started in Stockton, California,
Is that right?
and then went transferred to L.A. and then Colorado Springs, and then here.
You were a police officer in Los Angeles?
Yes.
What's that like?
Well, I had the East Side and the 77th Division. It's not as bad as it is now, but
Really?
there was when I was going through it, there was a lot of gangs. And we don't talk about the gangs as much.
Yeah.
anymore, but there were a lot of gangs out there, and we were trying to secure the city.
What is the mentality of a gang? I often wonder this. It seems like they just decide, okay, we're tougher than the rest of the world, and we don't care about your laws.
Right,
Is that right?
So to speak, yes.
Yeah.
But they tend to want to be embraced by their own neighborhoods, but they do it in a way to where it's illegal because they actually do try to help their own neighborhoods, but in the process, there's just too many people being hurt. And if you get in the way, it's deadly.
Oh, really? So they're kind of like vigilantes,
Correct.
in a way.
Correct.
Oh my
It's
God.
deadly. And don't cross their territory.
Yeah.
So that's...
There was a story this morning in the news about what was that group called? The Guardian Angels. Remember they started
Yes.
in New York.
Oh, yes, in New York, yeah.
And they're in the Seminole Heights neighborhood down in Tampa. Even though they caught the guy that was the guy who murdered 4 people.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that area.
Right.
Even though they caught the guy, the Guardian Angels say, we're going to stick around because maybe they didn't catch the guy.
Right,
Maybe
right.
they didn't get the right guy or something.
Right.
And that happens too,
Sure does.
So, I want to make sure you know how we do this. We're coming up to a break in a little bit, and then we'll kind of focus more on what you've done. But our listeners always play a role in this, and so they might want to call in. So, when did you move to Florida?
2013. Oh, to Florida. Oh, I'm sorry. 1999.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my.
And so that means in 2013 you moved to this part of
To
Florida.
this part of, yeah.
Where did you move first?
I came to Tampa first, and
Tampa,
then from
okay.
Tampa to the St. Pete Clearwater area.
Did you work in law enforcement down there?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I was part of the anti-gang initiative in Hillsborough County.
Oh, wow. So you're familiar with the Seminole Heights neighborhood?
I am.
Oh,
I am.
wow.
Yeah, we were funded in a program by the FBI. They had a program that they wanted to do in the communities to help out.
Wow.
locally. So I ran that program for a while, and finally.
How much of your background ends up in your books? That you have a fascinating background, and,
Yes.
you're writing science fiction.
I do mix it. There are things in the book that seems unreal, but they are truly real. A lot of the sites, as a matter of fact, all of the sites that I have in the book are real, such as all of the observatories. I went to Colorado Springs and
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear more about this.
yeah, because I wanted to make it sound real.
Have you ever, this is kind of an off the wall question,
Sure.
but have you ever in all your years in law enforcement saw something, witnessed something that either couldn't be explained, maybe you thought was sort of on the supernatural side or on the miracle side? I'd like to have a miracle story, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Anything like that? Anything come to mind?
Yes, things like vehicles being moved by humans, because there's somebody trapped on them.
Really?
Or folks that come out of the woodwork to help out who otherwise would not even dare be trusted. We seem to be at our best at the precipice of life where there's no hope, and then all of a sudden there's hope.
Really?
We have seen things like that, and we sit there and go, okay, how did that car get off of that person? She moved it. How did she move it? Things like
Yes,
that.
yes.
It does happen. It
Oh,
does
wow.
happen.
Fascinating stuff.
And you can't explain it.
That is something. Yeah, we had an experience that we thought an angel came out of the woods and gave us some water for the
Heating of the
overheating
car.
radiator.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
very-
I mean, it didn't look like an angel. It looked like a man with a bucket, but
Well, you never know.
but he came out of nowhere. Like, how did he know we were going to be there?
Right,
you
right,
know?
at that time,
and he had a
right.
bucket of water or a jug, a big jug of water.
yeah,
like
and then
a
after it happened, after we filled it up and everything and looked around, he was
gone.
nowhere.
No way.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was-
No, okay, folks.
Nowhere.
But I mean, he was as real as you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But he didn't have 2 big books that he wrote, so.
He didn't want to bore you.
All right, my gosh. Okay, we're going to learn about these 2 books. We're going to learn about Jonathan K. Miller. And if you're a fan or a family member or a friend and you're watching the streaming video, you will be comforted to know that you'll be able to share this later on. We will make this into a recorded podcast. I was panicking earlier, though. I thought that maybe the computer wasn't going to allow me to do this. So, all right, let's take that little break, and we will be right back after the news. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. A retirement, not a resignation, in store for Congressman John Conyers, who faces several sexual harassment accusations. This, according to a family member speaking to the New York Times. Meanwhile, a woman who says she worked for the Michigan Democrat for more than a decade coming forward.
Alyssa Grubbs now says while the two of them were in the front row of a church, he slid his hand up her skirt and rubbed her thighs.
Fox Radio's Jill Nato. And the third tries the charm for the president's travel ban, at least for now.
While lower court challenges play out, now it may not be the final word, but experts say this shows the court does not believe the ban exceeds the president's authority under immigration law, nor does it discriminate against Muslims. The ban is in its 3rd iteration and applies to 6 Muslim-majority countries: Chad, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria, and Yemen.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. Fox News. We report. You decide.
The Ford year-end sales event is in full swing. For a limited time, get $1,000 cash back on top of 0% APR financing for 72 months on a full lineup of 2017 Ford vehicles. That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Celebrate the season with exclusive holiday offers like 0% APR financing for 72 months, plus 1,000 Ford credit cash across a full lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Best-selling based on 2016 sales. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $13.89 per month for 1,000 financed regardless of down payment on cars, F-150, and SUVs. Not available on Ford GT, Fiesta, Focus RS, Mustang GT 350, 350R, Raptor, or Super Duty. Take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by January 2nd, 2018. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for complete details.
Here is your 30-second news brief. Former Congresswoman Corinne Brown was sentenced yesterday to 5 years in prison for running a fake charity. A 69-year-old Filipino man was arrested after the FBI discovered he was plotting a mass shooting at a Northeast Florida mosque. A 15-year-old boy is heading back to Florida from Canada to face charges in his grandmother's murder. And Walt Disney World says they still hope their Hall of Presidents, complete with an animatronic President Trump, will reopen before the end of the year. And that is your news brief from The Source.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident on this Tuesday. Turning out partly sunny and warm, high 79 to 83. Mainly clear Tuesday night, low 58 inland, 65 along the coast. For Wednesday, times of sun and clouds, there can be a shower, high 80 to 84. Thursday, cloudy with a couple of showers, highs ranging from the mid-60s in the northern part of the zone to the low 80s in the southernmost part. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is certified financial planner Keith Singer. Are you annoyed by low interest rates that you're earning in the bank on your safe money? You don't have to settle for next to zero interest. We are able to design modified endowment contracts to get you 5 to 6% annual interest without stock market risk, without interest rate risk, and without tying up your money. Have it be fully accessible, but actually make a decent return without taking a bunch of risk. Call for a free report at 1-866-WEALTHY. That's 1-866-WEALTHY.
Hey, this is Matt Wilkerson from Verizon. You work all day, right? So why would you want to spend your night out shopping for that new phone? Well, Marion County, let me and Verizon help you out. I can deliver to your home or office, saving you precious time. Phone, tablets, internet, home phones, even accessories. Whatever you need, we will deliver free of charge. Call me at the store, 352-528-0020. That's 528-0020.
I'm Jennifer, the Executive Director of Palm Garden, and I would like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas.
I'm Mary Ann, the Director of Clinical Services, and my staff and I will ensure that the needs of all our residents are met.
I'm Nadia, the Director of Guest Services, and I will be fluffing pillows for our new guests staying with us over the holidays.
I'm Crystal, also from Palm Garden, and I hope each of you have a blessed Christmas as we celebrate the Savior's birth.
Merry Christmas from Palm Garden!
What are you getting into?
Oh, hey, Joe, look at these cool toys.
Some nice things. A doll, a baseball bat. Hey, what's this?
Oh, that's a translator.
A translator?
Yeah, Chinese, Japanese, even Ocala-ese.
Ocala-ese?
Yeah, give it a try.
Okay, translator. Translate ice skating rink.
The translation of ice skating rink in Ocala-ese is large white sheet of plastic.
Oh, that's good. Translate winter.
Winter in Ocala-ese is 2 days in January.
Isn't this a great toy?
Okay, translator. Translate Santa Claus.
The translation of Santa Claus in Ocala-ese is WOCA listeners.
That's right, WOCA listeners. You've done it before, and we're asking for your help again.
Just bring a new or gently used toy to the WOCA studios in the Paddock Mall, and we'll put it under our Christmas tree.
Then, on December 15th, all the toys will be picked up by Florida Kids Helping Kids.
WOCA listeners truly are Santa Claus.
All right, 25 minutes before 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Jonathan K. Miller is in the studio. He's a science fiction writer, a former law enforcement officer, a singer, an entertainer, and an amazingly accomplished man in general. I just went to your Facebook page, by the way, and I hit add a friend, and it said, let me read you what it said. It said here, I hate this. Jonathan has reached his friend limit.
Yes, I have over 5,000.
You have reached your friend limit. Yes. Imagine if God said that to you. I'm sorry, Jonathan.
No more friends.
No more. That's a. What's the guy's name? Zuckerberg, who started this thing.
Yeah,
That's
Mark
Zuckerberg's rules. I can't be your friend.
Nope, you can't.
Well, that's crazy.
Well, you know me now, so.
I know you now. But how do I stay in touch with you on Facebook? So you are a singer also.
Yes.
So you said your music is on your Facebook page somewhere?
Correct. All the way down at the bottom.
Who's this guy? Oh my gosh, this looks like an alien sitting on a throne.
That is the captain of the alien vessel that's in the book. I have a wonderful, wonderful illustrator who came on board. His name is Carl Bowser. And in the third book, he's bringing all of my characters to life.
Wow.
So I'm sharing.
You are embarking on a whole new life, aren't you?
Yes, I am. And he is incredible.
You look too young to be retired.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe God said to you, you know what? All that law enforcement stuff, that's good. Now you're on to something else.
Okay, he's my new best friend.
Exactly.
No, I'm not. Facebook won't let me be. I tried to be.
Yes.
That's what Facebook should have. They should have friends and best friends.
Yeah, well, I would be happy to do that, but Facebook says, no, you know too many people. You're out.
All right, so let's talk about the newest of the two books, which is Genesis Universe 2.
Correct.
Is there a Genesis Universe 1?
Well, the 12 blocks is the Genesis Universe 1.
Oh, okay.
And of course, the Genesis Universe 2 picks up on that.
Okay.
It started off with 12 blocks because the aliens that lived on the planet have
Which
blocks.
planet? Our planet?
Our planet.
Okay.
They have blocks that they lived in, and we found 12 of them on the planet. So they called them blocks because in the future they were built in a squarish type of.
Is this true at all? I mean, is there anything?
It seems true, doesn't
Okay,
it?
I'm just trying to figure out what might be true.
Well, no.
Okay.
The true part is what we do after we find them.
Okay. So you find the blocks. Then when you say a block, do you mean like a city block?
Building. It's a building underground.
Oh, okay.
3 miles underground, found by accident by high school students looking for a ring.
Wow.
A little antenna sticking out of the Arizona desert.
Where were they looking?
Arizona desert. They were passing by, and one of the guys broke up with his girlfriend, and she threw his ring out.
Oh, no.
And the next day, he and a friend went out looking for the ring, and he kicked this little antenna coming out of the ground, and it turned out to be one of the blocks. And the president had a special team to go look in there, and they found this huge facility and aliens living in a parallel dimension to ours that was imprisoned on Earth 2.5 million years ago.
Wow.
And they're still alive?
Well, they are still alive. They were. We found out that the aliens were indeed our creators. They created us as a food source, which is why all of the little tribes disappeared. Nobody knows where they went. They were harvested.
My gosh.
Yes, and then these guys.
When they diced me, did they use mayonnaise?
You know, they had a chemical, but no, they didn't use mayonnaise. But I believe the third book will have us in liquid form. How's that?
There you go.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I don't know how to. It was a wonderful concept.
But I mean, in the blocks that these kids find in Arizona, is there anybody living in the block that they find?
They are, but they could not. Of course, they didn't see them in another dimension. But when our scientist was brought in, they accidentally stumbled on a frequency that brought them out. So we were able to discover.
See,
them.
I've often wondered something. You just hit on something that I wanted to kind of throw by you, and wondered if maybe you thought the same thing. When we send like a rover to Mars, and it's going around, and all it sees is nothing but rocks. I often wonder if life is just a bunch of vibrations, and we can't detect the vibration. So maybe there's life on every planet, but you know what I mean? But,
I do
but we can only detect life that's in the same vibration as we are. Does that sound weird? Or
No, it doesn't. And scientists have revealed that life is energy. So energy does produce a vibration, so to speak. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that life is a vibration. Life is an energy source that some you can't see, some you can, which of course is why we have microscopic animals and parasites that we can't see with the naked eye, but they're there.
Yeah. So what kind of direction did this come from? I mean, you were looking out in the sky on the ranch,
right?
And where do you live? Do you live in the villages?
No, actually, I live about 7 miles from here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
In the
You
southwest
already told me.
sector of Ocala.
Okay.
at a
Well, you were
ranch.
asking earlier about the villages. That's why maybe I thought you were down there. Okay, so so you start writing, and are you, for example,
Right.
if I had your brain, I would be more entertained by my brain than I would be by TV. Does that make sense? Do you stay away from watching TV and stuff like that?
No, I do not.
Oh, really?
Movies are my hobby.
Oh, you're a big movie fan.
Oh, yes, and especially in the sci-fi arena. And I
Really?
get, you study these incredible writers in science fiction, and you could see that they could see the future, like Gene Roddenberry, for instance. They were able to see so many things, and he had worked with NASA, and you see so many strange things
Right,
happening.
right.
And that's me. I like
So
to
do
look at
you know the Writers of the Future? Do you know that organization?
I do, yes.
Okay, have you ever sent anything to them?
Never,
Oh
never
my
sent
gosh,
anything.
they would love you.
Well, who knows?
You
Maybe
should.
in the
Say, it costs nothing. It's
better.
It's free.
Is it?
The only caveat, and I'll tell you this just with kind of like a warning, not that you need a warning, because these are really some nice people. But it's all started by L. Ron Hubbard.
Yes.
Which is the Scientology guide.
Correct.
But they all tell me every time I talk to them, "Are you into science?" No, I'm not into that.
Yeah, right.
But I'm just into the science fiction part of it.
Right.
So I don't. I when I first heard about it, I said to Robin, "Are you sure they're not trying to draft us into Scientology?"
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting
Not
that you
that it
say
would
that.
be. I'm not picking on their religion. I'm
Right,
just
right.
saying, I've everybody coming to my door asking me to change my religion, and I'm fine with my religion. But I do like what they're doing with the science fiction. So
Well, all of the religions have something positive to give to life. All of them. The Bible, for instance, have so many sayings that we all use.
Yes, yes.
And the religion, because my son is involved in Scientology. and of course his whole family. And he shows me things that I found in the book of L. Ron Hubbard. That does help.
No, L. Ron Hubbard had some amazing things to say. So I'm not picking on anybody.
Right. Neither am I.
But I'm just letting you know that if you're already familiar with it, then I don't need to tell you. But I just think we somehow became friends with them out of Los Angeles. Yes.
Oh wow.
And not that our friendship is going to help you at all, but I think your talent will. I think your writing will.
Wow.
You know what it is, because they meet up. If you ever watch any of the videos, I get their meetings and stuff like that. Like a writer like yourself, for example, sends them something to be considered for their contest. And then you either win or you don't.
Correct.
But even if you don't, they'll contact you and invite you out there, and you hang out with these names like, is Gene Roddenberry still alive? No, he died, right?
He's passed. Yeah.
But I mean, but people like that, you know. They're out. You probably know the names of these guys, and I'm not familiar with them.
Right.
And in fact, your illustrator friend could also be part of it because.
Carl Bowser. Oh,
yeah.
Now you're talking about a mind. The things that he can create, as you saw on your computer. It's just, I give him what's in my mind that I want the aliens to look like, and I'll be darned if he doesn't get in his studio and create it. Those things are exactly, those beings, I shouldn't say things, those beings are exactly what I told him to put in there, and he's Carl Bowser.
Do you ever dream about your creation? I do. Yeah?
Yeah, I do.
Like what?
Well, I dream, again, the what-if concept. I dream that they are here, and would I act accordingly? They approach me, or I'm out in my barn, and one of them appear behind me and say, "Jonathan, we want to talk to you." A lot of
Has that happened in a dream?
In the dream, yes.
Yeah? Oh, really?
And sometimes,
Jonathan, you're writing about us.
You're getting too close.
You're a little too accurate.
Don't make us experiment on you.
You know,
we won't eat you.
In the history of humankind,
yes,
we have not been kind to other people. Like we came across the ocean and we decided, okay, you're out of here, right?
We're taking over.
That's not very nice. No. And that's not the only time in history. It's just the one I picked on. So.
No,
And don't anybody call me and tell me I'm doing the guilt complex. But there should be a little bit of guilt in that. But the big thing is, why would anybody from another civilization say, you know what, these people are dangerous?
Why don't we annihilate them? Yeah.
No, not that. I mean the other way. Like maybe.
Oh, help us.
Maybe they're friendly, but they say these people are not so nice. Yeah. Maybe they look at us and say, look at their history. We should.
Eric.
Yeah, because.
Well, the wonderful thing about my book is they're here to help us. They actually saved us from being harvested, and once they took the aliens off the planet, we're able to use 100% of our brain capacity, because the aliens that made us was blocking us just to 10% of our brain capacity. And they thought that we had advanced enough, the cyclones thought we had advanced enough to where they're not going to let them harvest us this time and remove them. And that, of course, freed us up.
And what did you call them? Cyclones?
Cyclones, yes. They are the creatures that brought the other species here on Earth and imprisoned them on Earth.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was the name of the planet in Battlefield Earth? That was also Cyclones, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What does that word mean? Does that word mean anything?
Well, I don't know. My names just came out of my head.
Wow.
So Cyclones.
That's amazing.
I've had a lot of people ask me, where'd you get these names?
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Like Snidol. He's the captain of the vessel that you looked at on your computer.
Wow.
Is that right?
Yeah. So it's
and they're all nice?
Yes, they are. As a matter of fact, they're here to save us. Now.
So how do you turn the story? Because I was looking at the reviews and people say there's a lot of twists and turns. So what goes wrong? Is it the human end of things that goes wrong?
Actually, everything goes right. That's why I wrote this. Everything goes right, except for the fact that we do not. It happens so suddenly. We do not have the ability to govern ourselves if we had 100% of our brain capacity all of a sudden. So the Cyclones promised they would come back in 6 to 7 weeks to help us and to acclimate us and to introduce us into the system. And they brought another species with them called the Shunais, who has that ability to transform worlds into the galaxy, and so both of those two species comes back to Earth to help us, and in the nick of time, because we also have telepathic abilities
Oh,
due to the fact
okay.
that
Uh-huh.
we can now use 100% of our abilities. But we're still human. So being human, there's
Yeah.
human falter, there's human factor. Everybody reacts differently to
Yeah,
different
yeah,
things.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they had to come back to save us. And they, maybe they save us.
So
maybe
are
they
you
don't.
telling us the first book or the second book or both right
Both-
now?
both books,
You can,
yeah.
okay, both books work together.
Correct.
Okay.
And thus the name Genesis, because Genesis is the birth.
Correct.
And
It's
you've
the-
got a
it's the
birth of
beginning-
one thing, and now
Right.
you've got another beginning.
Correct. It's the beginning of us reaching the far areas of space.
Okay, I'm showing the cover right now for Genesis Universe 2. This is actually the second book by Jonathan. And let me flip over to the first book. This is called, again, 12 Blocks?
12 blocks.
12 blocks.
That's where we found them.
And how hard was it for you once you had it written to get a publisher to carry the book?
I did it myself. I called.
You did it yourself?
I
Oh.
called Amazon.com
Uh-huh.
and asked them what could I do, and they actually,
Really?
their executive actually looked at the book and said, "Jonathan, you have something here. You finished the second book, and we'll help you to get it on." And then at the same time, once Genesis 2 came out, we got such a reaction from it that they dropped the book down to like $4.62 to get everybody to.
Really?
Yeah, and then of course they brought it back up. It's about $12 now, but they wanted they really believed and believe in this book. So I had help from Amazon.com, on which I have to give them kudos.
It says both books are $22 on here. The Kindle for Genesis Universe 2 is $9.99. The paperback is $12. Hey, that's a pretty good price for a large book like that. That's a very good price. So where do you go from here? What do you hope happens?
Good question. Of course, I drafted on a good illustrator, and now we're bringing all the characters, as I said before, to life. Some of them we haven't even introduced yet, and they're in the makings. But the third book, I won't give too much out of it, but the third book, we're hoping to make it look like a movie or a series.
Oh, really?
So that when people read the book, they will hope that, which I've already had, that it would turn into either a movie or a TV series or even an animated TV series, because I'm trying to do it to where everybody can actually see it instead of reading it.
Are you married?
Like a graphic novel.
So how's your wife handling this? Sounds like you're taking a lot of time to do this. Or is she happy that you're taking a lot of time to do this?
No, she's been very instrumental and very supportive.
Yeah,
And she stays out of the way, basically, because I get really tensed up when I have ideas, and she'll come in and give me an idea, and I'll bark. And she runs out. Okay, you're on your own. You do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Because I get so intense. And then just the other day, she says, if somebody else was in here and they gave you this idea, you wouldn't be barking. So I'm leaving, and you're on your own. Yeah.
Is she right? Is she right? Would you bark at me if I came in with an idea?
Yeah, I would.
I think you
I'm
would,
saying
yeah.
that just to save myself in case she's listening.
No, I believe you would. No, I actually believe you would, because I think the creative mind wants to be the creative mind.
That's true, but she has a lot of ideas, and she did contribute a great deal, because I do go to her and I bounce off ideas from time to time, and she says, well, because she's in HR. She's a HR director.
Oh, okay.
Vice president, big wig.
Oh, nice.
So she knows the law very well. She goes, well, if you do it this way, and
Do you include romance in the story?
only once, and it is a PG-13, so anybody from the age of 10 could read this book. But yes, there was an excited portion with a couple of the main scientists that are involved with the study and the
How does
aspect of
your background in law enforcement, how does that surface in the book?
Well, it helps me with the military. It helps me to communicate with all the observatories that I.
Are you a veteran also?
Oh, yes.
Military?
Navy.
Oh, wow.
Navy.
Oh,
yes.
wow. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
And
that.
they are the best. The Navy is the best. I just want to throw that out there to you, Navy people. And being able to be in law enforcement, how we deal with people, how we communicate with people, that all played a role in that area of communicating with everyone, because now we're in the period of information. Is that what we are?
Yes.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say. But with communicating with people out on the street for years and years and years, I was able to contact a lot of people and got a lot of support. Because as I said, a lot of things in the book are actually real. Some of the machines that are futuristic seem like they're futuristic. But I've talked to scientists at Stanford University and in Palo Alto, and some of this stuff is real. And that's what the third book is going to be about.
On Thanksgiving, we were at the Thanksgiving parade, and everything, Jonathan, everything that people were cheering started out as somebody's imagined thing.
Correct.
Everything did. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers balloon comes by, and everybody goes, "Oh man, there he is!" Well, that was somebody's idea for a story.
Right.
What was another good one? Ronald McDonald went by. I mean, I know it's a mascot for a restaurant, but
a giant clown.
Yeah, but somebody had this idea, just like you have these ideas that you're putting into writing.
Right.
It's amazing how, like when you say this is the age of information, well, maybe we've always been an information race, but we just didn't have the means to really communicate information, so we had to have the wheel, we had to have the car, we had to have all this other stuff.
Graduate.
Yeah, and now we're at the point where you can instantly send me your book on my Kindle.
Yes, I could. Anywhere in the world.
I know. Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing. Well, of course, in the 60s, there was only 4 billion people on the planet. We've doubled that now. So there's a lot of information out there when you consider how many people are on the planet. So.
That's interesting.
Do you think that we've gotten too big for our britches, though, technology-wise, because of that tragedy with the submarine, and since it was stealth and they couldn't find it?
Right. Too big for our britches? No. I do feel that there are individuals in positions that they shouldn't be in that makes it too big for our bridges in isolated incidences, like the 2 ships that crashed.
Yes.
Nobody looked overboard to say, hey, we're getting too close.
Right.
We rely on technology too much. But
But
I think that we're going okay if we can just control ourselves.
So let me ask you this. A lot of the things that we see today were first introduced to us by way of science fiction. And it's almost like science fiction writers, I don't know how to look at it. Either you're seeing into the future, or it's like a prediction that we make come true because we want it to. Like we read about, traveling to other planets, and we say, oh, well, let's make that a reality. So you stimulate the rest of meaning writers, stimulate the rest of us to make it come true. I don't know. Do you think any of your writing has anything in it that we'll be seeing
that
in the future?
We'll be using?
Yeah.
Well, you take the Gene Roddenberry movie. I mean, we have communicators now. We have iPods and iPads now.
Yeah.
The actor William Shatner and the rest of them used those in the 60s, and now we have them. Before, we had to... When we had an accident in the car, we'd yell out, "Somebody call an ambulance!" Now we have cell phones; we're right there calling it. So I think that science fiction influences us to say, let's do it.
And but still, the human compassion for each other still isn't lost. It's not so much of a robotic society that humans still, on the most part, respect each other and have relationships.
I agree with you 100%. I still am one of those guys that believe that there is good in all of us. And I put that on my Facebook sign, and a guy, like you said, well, they just caught a guy in Tampa who was a serial killer. There can't be any good in him. Yes, there can. You just don't know his life. There may be something in there that is good. It's just that he did a terrible, terrible thing. There is good in all of us, and I like to believe that, and I refuse to believe anything different. There is good in all of us, and that's why I wrote in the book it's a positive outcome. The aliens are not creatures of war. They are benign, and they are here to help, and they're going to introduce us, and they're going to save us. And I won't give too much of the story away, but in the process of saving us, we take back steps, and they see us. And like
that whole idea that there's good in all of us is a biblical principle too. In the Bible, it has that Noah story. And if you think of the earth as one person,
correct,
and God says this person is no good, I'm going to do away with him with a flood. And then so, wait a minute, there's a little piece of this person, and in the story, it's, of course, Noah and his family. So, okay, we'll spare the whole human race because there's one good guy.
Right.
And maybe that's a way of saying, I'll spare you because you've got one good part in you.
Right,
you know?
God, you're reading my mind. In this book, one of them mentioned that, of course, being that they are our creators, who is Jesus, right? Well, in the book, I did address that, where they said, one of the aliens said, you did have one on this planet that had the ability to do things that you other humans could not do. And that one you call Jesus. And I did put it in the book. I was hoping that it would not be a controversy in the religious arena, but I had to address it because we were created by this race of beings called the Porthia, not God. And I did not.
No, there will be a new religion.
Yes.
After you die, it'll be called Millerology. People will be reading your books.
Scientology, Millerology.
Yes,
Okay,
you will be up there. Yes, you'll have a big church somewhere. Well, I don't know. I'm just being silly, of course. Gosh, what a fascinating guy you are.
Thank you, sir. I'm hoping again that I don't cause trouble because the 12 blocks really came from the 12 tribes. Think about it.
I wondered if there wasn't a connection to that, actually.
In the book there is.
Yeah.
The 12 tribes were influenced by the Porthia to create a god to give them purpose so that they wouldn't kill themselves and they can go on eating. That was the concept. So there's a lot in there.
And you're working on book signing locations right now.
Yes.
And in April, you have one coming up.
At the Barnes & Noble up the street there. They do it twice a year, and they contacted me and said, Jonathan, you have to be there. So
we're getting close to running out of time. Is there anything you wished we had asked that we didn't ask?
Yes. Tell everybody to go out and buy these books.
I found them on Amazon. Is Amazon your first pick, or would you say go to the bookstore?
Amazon is the first pick because it's easy to access, it's easy to get, you can pay for it.
And don't put Jonathan Miller because there's another author. Put Jonathan K. Miller, and you have a Mr. in front of you. So Mr.
Oh, I
Jonathan,
do?
Yeah. Yeah. When I click on your name, it shows a nice picture of you sitting behind a desk.
Yes.
I think you're in the same shirt, except you're wearing a tie.
Well, it could be.
I think you have the same pen in your pocket too.
I keep my clothes for thousands of years.
Yeah, right. Me too.
Me
Join
too.
the club.
No, Robin doesn't. I do. Oh my gosh!
funny.
Oh my gosh! That was such a great interview. Thank you so much for being in here today.
My pleasure, sir.
All right, we are up against the break. Let's take that break, and we'll be right back. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. Next, for Republican tax reform plans, members of the House and Senate will sit down to work out the differences between their two bills.
The House of Representatives took the first official stage to go to conference. There was a vote to go to conference. A conference committee in congressional terms is where you take members from the House and members from the Senate, and they get together and they try to fuse a House bill and a Senate bill together, in this case, the tax bill. Sometimes this just takes a few days. Sometimes it takes weeks and months. We don't know how long this will take. The deadline imposed by House Speaker Paul Ryan is Christmas.
Fox's Chad Pergam at the Capitol. A wildfire in Southern California